So welcome everyone to tonight's presentation of iPro Network, and let's just jump in right away. We're going to be talking about three different multi-billion-dollar industries throughout this presentation. So I want you to pay attention because these are separate and distinct, but they're all so powerful. What makes iPro Network is the convergence of all of these industries together. So there's not going to be any hype, any fluff, just really transparent information. We're not here trying to convince anybody of anything. Really, what we're going to give out is a lot of information that a lot of people still don't know about. In fact, the entire world, the just a very small percentage of the entire world even knows about what we're talking about here today. And so that's really exciting from an educational standpoint, folks, because it creates a huge opportunity for each and every one of us. So the first industry that we're going to talk about is cryptocurrency, also referred to during this presentation as e-currency or digital currency. When you hear those words, they're all synonymous. It really means the same thing. Now, so a lot of folks, when they hear that, when they hear cryptocurrency or e-currency or digital currency, they might be confused. They might think we're talking about PayPal or a solution of that sort. And certainly that is a digital platform. However, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about real currency in the digital space. And so that causes a little bit of confusion for some folks. Now, the other types of people might be unsure of what does that mean? How does it relates to them? Should they care? Should they participate? Should they get more information or what? And that was me 3 years ago, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we go along here. And then the third person is going to be that person that's going to be super motivated, super excited to hear that there is a new currency that is just about to be released, folks. And again, a lot of you guys know, or if you don't know, but a new currency named Pro is about to be released on the 24th to exchanges, to cryptocurrency exchanges. And if you understand what that means, if you're not confused and you're not unsure of, then you're going to be super extremely motivated and excited like this third person here. And so hopefully by the end of this presentation here, you are just as excited as this girl in this image here. Now, e-currency is the latest evolution in payments, or it's the latest form of money, in short. So we're all familiar with fiat currency, dollar bills, and that sort of legal tender. We've seen checks. I know I've seen checks in my lifetime. We've seen plastic, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and all of those. We've seen the PayPals and the virtual types of wallets like Apple Pay, Google Pay, and so on and so forth. But cryptocurrency, e-currency, folks, that's the latest evolution in money. And so that's what this presentation is going to talk about as the first industry that we need to explore and understand on how this relates to iPro Network. Now, e-currencies are something that hit the scene about 7 years ago, and the very first one that's really made headline news and is world renowned is Bitcoin. That's a really interesting story because when Bitcoin first started, it was worthless. It was, it was an experiment, if you will. It was a project, and it started with trying to resolve mathematical algorithms that exponentially would get more difficult to really see if you could have a digital currency out there that can someday even replace the types of currencies that we use right now that was solely based on supply and demand. And so when it first came out, the only way that you could acquire it, but was by a very complex system called mining. And if you were fortunate enough or smart enough to figure all that out, then you could actually produce Bitcoin. And right now it's actually at about right around where it's at right now, about 1180. I haven't checked it today. If somebody wants to post it on the chat, you can. But I know for the last 90 days or so, it's been fluctuating between about $800 and $1,200. Now, historically, it had hit this level early on, and then because it was so new and the demand, was not quite there in terms of usability, then it fluctuated back down to about 75. And 3 years ago, when I started to take a serious look at this currency, it was fluctuating around $200. So that brings me to this point, folks. Bitcoin right now has been accepted in over 2 million retailers. Now, in the span of 7 years, folks, it really has set the groundwork on where money is going to go. And right now, one particular Bitcoin is worth right around with an ounce of gold. And I can tell you right now, it's worth more than any currency that we look at, more than the yen, the dollar, the euro, and all of these major currencies around the world. Now, the number two currency is Ethereum, and the snapshot here is probably taken the last couple of days. It's been fluctuating between 35 and $50, and that's happened probably for the last 30 days or so. But Ethereum over the last year has been fluctuating between $7 and $13. Folks, I could tell you that when it first came out, it was just a couple of cents. Ripple has had a huge rise. It's now worth 3 cents. It was at 0.00 something not too long ago. It's experimented about 600%. Dash is at 75. You got Litecoin at $10. It used to be around 3. So all of these, it's like the era, it's the wave, it's what's happening. But the underlying technology, and I'm spending time talking about this because I really want to set the right proper context of what we're talking about, that the underlying technology that makes digital currency possible, the blockchain, is not going to go away. And cryptocurrency is just, a part of what the blockchain is going to mean to the entire world. And so you need to understand that technology, folks, all of the who's, the top business minds of our time are heavily, heavily invested in blockchain technology and digital currency. In fact, Ethereum, backed by Microsoft. So, folks, this is the age that we live in. And cryptocurrency, it has a huge, huge, exciting future. But currently, 81% of all cryptocurrency transactions are being used for online shopping. So when you look at this slide here, I'm super excited because there's a lot of verticals here that you see, like peer-to-peer payments. That's only 3%. Well, let me tell you this: the remittance industry, the Wells Fargo, not Wells Fargo, the MoneyGrams and the Western Unions of the world. That's, the remittance industry. It's really expensive to send money to other countries. Not too long ago, my wife and I wired $30,000 over to Mexico, and 29,000 and change actually got there. And we sent that through it wasn't even MoneyGram or Western Union, but it was a banking industry, which is archaic. It took about 3 or 4 days to actually get there. And then all the fees and the conversion rates and all of that. Well, now with Bitcoin, let me just give that an example here. Not too long ago, I moved $8,000 from one Bitcoin account to another Bitcoin account, and it cost me 33 cents. So that's an industry, that's a vertical there, folks, that is just waiting to happen because digital currency is tailor-made for the remittance industry. But currently, 81% of all digital currency is being used for online shopping. So that's where ipro Network, and when they did the analysis, they figured out how to make this all work synergistically. They said, hey, let's go after that sector. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a few more slides. But this is what I'm mostly excited about, folks, is that knowledge of cryptocurrency, e-currency, is only 6% of the global population. Now think about that for a second. If you were looking to start a business, if you were looking to get into an industry, wouldn't you want it to be something where not everybody already knows about it? And see, that's where this slide is so important to me, because I'm going to share a little bit about my background and my story. When I got dragged kicking and screaming into this industry 11 years ago, there was another shift in technology that was happening. And it actually, without that shift, this would not be possible here today. ipro Network would not be possible in the way that it is. And I'll explain that in just a sec. But it was when analog phone lines were going to go digital. Now, folks, when I started my first year in this industry, we just started growing exponentially. We're telling everybody back then that by 2012, this is in 2006, we're telling that in 6 years, every single phone line was going to be digital. Now, folks, that happened. And it didn't happen because I was smart. It happened because I was able to recognize that there were a lot smarter people out there that had figured out that, hey, you know what? Analog is obsolete. It's more expensive. We're going to go digital. And that's how we're going to go all the way around the world in terms of telecommunications. And guess what? It happened. And because we were able to get in front of that curve, because we were able to identify that trend, and not everybody did. Some people thought we were crazy. Some people thought, what are you talking about? I don't want to buy internet so I could use my phone. I'm fine with my rotary phone, or I'm fine with my push tone phone. And they don't want to change. But guess what? Technology has a funny way of forcing you to change. So right now, this presentation that we're doing right now, this webinar, this video, this audio, and what you're hearing could not be possible if voice over internet protocol did not exist. And that is the technology that actually makes this presentation possible. But at the same time, the internet, which allows voice over internet protocol to exist is also the internet that allows the blockchain to exist, which is what allows cryptocurrency to exist. So, in the same way that we're all using digital technology for telecommunications, whether we like it or not, accept it or not, we're a part of it or not, are profiting from it or not, you are still a user, a consumer, ultimately a customer of the technology, whether you like it or not. And that is exactly what is going to happen with blockchain technology and digital currency. So the people that can understand that even though 6%, that means that there's a lot of work to be done. That's a lot of exposure. That's a lot of education that needs to happen to the masses. But guess what? That's called opportunity. Because when this hits mass adoption and everybody knows that it exists and it's self-evident, well, it's kind of like me telling you right now, hey, how many of you guys would like to open up a cell phone store right now? I wouldn't want to because it's a race to zero. I could walk into Walmart and buy unlimited everything for $30. I don't want to be in that business. It's a race to zero, right? That wave already happened. So what I'm trying to point out to you is that because it's so relatively new, it makes it such a huge, huge opportunity. So that's just kind of the, the map, not the map, but the chart, the chart that shows you the growth of Bitcoin in the story. When it first started, if this was an EKG, when it first started, it was flatlined, right? It was worthless. However, it went up 1200, came back down, started reinventing itself, becoming more of a stable coin. The usability is there, starting to hit up those levels again to 1200, and that's where we're at right now. Now, folks, this is an important slide. I want you to understand this because it doesn't matter who invited you to this webinar here today. It doesn't matter who the speaker is. I'm nobody. But the guys that are on this slide, they know a little bit of where technology is going to go. Would you and I, if you and I can agree that Bank of America is going to do some research, some heavy research into digital currency and blockchain technology, then you can understand that that gives me the opportunity to just recognize, well, look, if the big boys are in, why am I not in? Okay, so ask yourself that question. If the biggest banks here in the United States are already involved in this, Bank of America, Chase Bank, in Europe, you have Santander Bank, you have the Bank of England, you have people like Bill Gates, owner of Microsoft, that's behind Ethereum with $400 million and understands how exciting Bitcoin is because it shows how cheap transactions can be. I just told you that I sent from one account to another account $8,000 worth of Bitcoin. It cost me 33 cents. Try doing that through a bank. Try doing that through Western Union or MoneyGram and see how much that's actually going to cost you in fees. Barclays, Goldman Sachs, eBay's jumping on board, and Sir Richard Branson, everything Virgin. I mean, all of these people are heavily invested in blockchain technology and digital currency. But the list goes on and on. You have Tim Draper, the Nostradamus of the financial world. He owns about 30,000 bitcoins and now is mining Ethereum. You have the Winklevoss twins. You have Mark Anderson, the inventor of Netscape. You have all of these high-level executives and business owners, entrepreneurs, the biggest and brightest minds of our time that are behind all of this. So the question is, why aren't we? And so that's what ipro Network allows us to do, is to participate in this new emerging direct sharing economy. And so a lot of people talk about companies like Airbnb and Uber, and those are great because they develop disruptive models. It's not so much the services that they actually are giving, it's really in the way that those services are being provided that makes a difference. So Uber, the last 10 years, has just broken the back of the monopoly on taxi cabs, right? And so it's the many to many model. It has a lot of people that are looking for an opportunity and they want to hire out their private vehicles to service the many. And the many are getting the benefit or being matched up with people that are going to charge them less. It's going to be quicker. It's going to be more efficient in most cases than taxi cabs. And so very, very successful model. In the last 10 years, they've just done incredible things. Airbnb, the same thing. People need to travel. They need to find places to stay at an affordable rate, better, quicker, more efficient. And in the last 10 years has surpassed the Hilton brand. Now that's huge because they're valued at around 50 billion, and these guys have done it in 10 years without owning any real estate. That's just a website, guys. So ipro Network is doing the same thing. It's taking these industries, look, this is what it's doing. It's taking the new money, which is digital currency, All right. That's why all of these experts, that's why all these people in the financial sectors, that's why everybody's getting involved in digital currency. Okay, so that's one sector there. That's where the money is going, period. But then if you take a look at the analysis of where money's being spent, and that's going to bring us into our products in just a second, you're going to understand why Armando Contreras, the CEO of ipro Network, decided, well, look, if this is where money's being spent and this is the future of money, then let's merge that together. Let's put that into a platform and let's go conquer the world. And so that's exactly what ipro Network is doing. Now, it's doing it in a very, very cool way. And so we're going to outline 3 unique shopping experiences that are going to allow us to take advantage of the new money that is being developed, which is e-currency, and we're going to tie in another industry, which is e-commerce, to all of this. So let's start off by talking about Pro Rewards, then we're going to talk about the IPN Mall, and then we're going to talk about the e-marketplace. Now, the Pro Rewards, folks, I'm super excited because that's kind of my pet peeve when everybody always says I'm excited, just at the beginning of a webinar or during a webinar. I actually am really excited. I'm going to tell you why. This is first to market. This has never been done before. So you need to understand this. This is the first time that you're seeing this presentation. And all you walk away from is this particular app. This will put it in the proper perspective, the proper light as to how huge this is because of this loyalty and rewards made easy, folks. And so if I'm carrying a lot of excitement in my voice, folks, it really is excitement because there's been nothing like it. And here's how it works. Imagine shopping at over 4,500 big box national brands, and every time you shop online with this app from your phone or from a computer, you're going to be able to earn cash back. But instead of it being cash back, it's going to be paid to you in digital currency, in pro currency. Now think about that for a second, folks. That is huge. You're going to be able to shop at places like JCPenney, like Macy's, like Petco, like Kohl's, Office Depot, Hotels.com, Groupon, Walmart, Best Buy. I mean, all the major name brands that we already know, trust, and like. We're going to be able to shop there seamlessly like we've always done before. We're going to be shopping with our credit cards and paying with our credit cards. But the cash back that we earn for shopping online, folks, which has almost become secondary, right, for us to assume that there's going to be loyalty and rewards when we shop online. Well, guess what? That USD value is going to be paid to you in pro currency. And that's phenomenal because, look, in this example, there was shopping that was done at these different places, Ring Central, a couple of other places here, Hotels.com, and then Newegg Business. Okay, $300 were spent. $35.49 were earned by this shopping. So roughly about 10% when all was said and done and everything was added up, it was about 10% of what the total purchase price was. So 35.49 was earned in rewards simply for shopping. Remember, you're buying whatever it is that you're buying. It could be a stereo, it could be a furniture, whatever it is, whatever you're buying, you're getting that. But on top of that, if there was any cash back associated with that purchase, that is going to be paid in pro currency. So all of a sudden, you have $35.49, which is not bad. It's 10% of what you spent. But now you have pro currency at whatever the value was on the day that was earned. That's what you're going to have in terms of rewards, pro rewards. So let's take that example, $35.49. Now, let's take a look at when this example was actually done, when this pilot purchase was done, the currency was at 0.02. So let's take $35.49 and divide that by 0.02. And that gives us 1,774.50 in terms of coin rewards, pro currency rewards. So that means that the person that bought this has earned 1,774 pro coins. Now that's huge because that was at 0.02. The current value is at 0.04, which means that that number, 35.49, is now doubled. Now, folks, this is a real case study, Okay, so the person that actually purchased this has already doubled what that USD cashback value was. Now that's the power of what this concept is. So imagine having an application that, number one, is free. It's free to download for Android or for Apple. It's free to use. It's free to give away. And when you give it away and you share it, and you're going to be able to shop at all these different places, earn the coin back rewards, now you have three choices of what to do. You could sell it on the live exchange. So let's say you want your 35 or your 35 bucks, right? You don't want to hang on to it. Well, you can. You could take it to the exchange because it's a real currency. It's going to be on the live cryptocurrency exchanges. So you could actually change it for either Bitcoin or Ethereum and put that into your bank account as cash if you wish to. Or you can hold on to it. Now, remember the Bitcoin story, okay? Now, Bitcoin started at zero value, and 7 years later, it's worth 1,200. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that's where we're going to be, but I'm saying that if we're starting at 0.04, well, guess what, folks? Could it be possible in this technology-driven company with all of the innovation? And for those of you that want to read up on the white paper of Pro and all of the different applications, this is app one. There's three other applications that are associated with Pro that we're not even going to cover on this webinar. But there's three other mind-blowing applications that are going to come out that are attached to this particular currency, and guess what? They're just as powerful. So can you fathom in your mind that 7 years from now, okay, with all the technologies that we're talking about right now, the whole program, that we could possibly get to $1 in 7 years? Now, Bitcoin went from 0 to 1,200. Ethereum went from a couple of pennies 2 years ago to $45 or $48 was where it is right now. Could it be possible for us to get to $1 in 7 years? Now, if you said yes, well, then think about this. Imagine if all along the way you're shopping and shopping and shopping and earning more Pro currency, throwing a pass to yourself from yourself today. That's what we're talking about. So remember that Bitcoin story, okay? And then the third thing, and this is what I'm super excited about, is to use it at any approved merchant. So let's dive into that. Let's talk about that for a second. The IPN Mall. IPN Mall, folks, is a mall from ipro Network where 100% of the shopping that goes on in the IPN Mall is going to be 100% Pro currency. Now, what you're going to be able to find are products and services that you're going to be able to find on Amazon or eBay, and guess what? You're going to have a more affordable price, a more affordable price on the IPN Mall. So you're going to have discounted prices, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, in some cases, even 50% off the retail price that you would find on Amazon or eBay or some of these other shopping portals. Now, the thing is, in order to take advantage of those deep discounts, 100% of the purchase price will have to be paid in Pro currency. Now, remember, what I told you about Bitcoin was that the reason why it was so high in terms of value was the usability. Okay, it's not about the technology of Bitcoin, it's about the usability of Bitcoin. And so the more places it can be used, the more people that agree, yes, we will take it, we will accept it as a form of payment, and guess what? More value to the currency. So ipro Network is providing that outlet so that that happens, so that people can actually use the currency that they earn through the rewards program. Or as we go through this presentation, you guys are going to find out that you can also get coin rewards when you buy featured products through the ipro Network program. So that's how the IPN Mall works. Now, the e-marketplace is different, folks. The e-marketplace is going to be a smorgasbord of different vendors that all want to be highlighted because they understand that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to have this new currency of the future, and they want to be showcased in our e-marketplace. And so they've agreed to give a discount to our membership. Worldwide, this is open to the public, right? Anybody that has Pro can participate in this e-marketplace because a minimum of 20% of the purchase price. Now, they could do 100% if they want to, but a minimum, the vendors have agreed a minimum of 20% of the retail price will be paid in Pro currency. So the e-marketplace is completely separate and distinct than the IPN Pro Mall. This is where people can buy whatever they want to do, whatever these vendors have, but they've agreed that a minimum of 20%. Now, it might be 30, 40, 50, it might be 100%, but a minimum of 20% is going to be paid in pro. Now, folks, let's talk about the industry that brings us to really our featured products. And this is important that you understand that right now there's a big shift, okay? And I talked about this earlier. This is the analysis. This is what Armando had the foresight to see. This over the last 7 years, 8 years, Bitcoin, digital currency, that's basically in the last decade. But where money is being spent has also shifted. If you remember the slide I showed you, 81% of digital currency is going to e-commerce. It's going to online shopping. So let's look at some stats and figures. Look at Best Buy, 28.4 billion in 2006. It's worth 14.5 billion today. Macy's, 24.3 billion, 13.0 billion. So about half today. Kohl's, 24.2 is only at 9.9 million. Folks, that dropped by 2/3. Sears, 27.8 is only at 1.3. That dropped like 99%. That's huge, guys. This is amazing. So the shift here is that we're going from brick and mortar to click and order. Now, look, in the same span of time, Amazon, which has just started selling books, now sells everything, right? Started with books and now sells anything and everything that you can think of around the world. It has experienced a growth of 1,910%. That's huge, guys. So what does Best Buy, Macy's, Kohl's, and Sears have in common today? Well, guess what? They all have an online presence, whereas before they didn't. Now they do. Now, Macy's just recently shut down 99 stores or 100 stores right after this last Christmas. And for those of you that don't know, this last Christmas also marked a chapter in history where online sales overtook physical brick and mortar store sales. So that's the world we live in. Where we spend our money has shifted to online. Now, you know, maybe you're like me and are still trying to catch up to that. I just made my first online purchase in terms of clothes not too long ago, and I actually bought the wrong size. And so, but you know, I'm starting to be open to it because it is more convenient. If I had known the right size in that particular makeup shirt, I would have 3 shirts that got to my you know, I had it overnight and I got them the next day and I didn't have to go anywhere. So it's a powerful model. I get a package delivered to my house every other day. I mean, we're all avid readers, and so you know, my wife orders books all the time. But it's not just books that we get. We get a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're getting packages all the time just from online shopping. So this is the world we live in. Money has shifted. It's a new expression of money, and where we spend our money has also shifted. So when you combine both of those things, that's where you get the synergy of ipro Network. So let's talk about our products, folks, because now that you understand that shift, now that you understand that e-commerce is huge and that all the major brands, all the major retailers are going into e-commerce, now you're going to understand why our featured products have everything to do with e-commerce. Now, I'm so excited about this, guys, because this e-profit system is huge. The e-com product blueprint is the first of 5 different products that we have that are going to give you all the tools necessary to start an e-commerce business. Now, when you start with a basic package, this is going to be a foundational type of training, step-by-step, 120 easy to understand training videos. It's going to go through product sourcing, store setup, marketing, store management, and all those things. But it also comes with 100% coin back. Now, just like the app where you could use the app to shop at 4,500 retailers, and they offer different coin back rewards that range from 1% all the way to 50%. But when you buy a product directly from ipro Network, one of our featured products, guess what? You get a minimum of 100% coin back. Now, on top of that, there is a $50 annual fee for those of you and actually want to take this and build out a business through ipro Network. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a sec. But it comes with a minimum of 100% coin back. Now, what that means, let me back up just a second so we're all clear on what this means. So if you purchase this package at $100, the current price of the coin is at 0.04. That means if you divide 0.04 into 100, if my math is not off, you would be getting 2,500 coins at today's pricing of the currency. Now, those are rewards. Those are given to you, okay, when you purchase one of our eProfit systems. Now, the second one we have is the intermediate package, and that's a one-time out-of-pocket of $500. Now, that comes with 102% coin back, okay? That $50 annual fee, I'll explain that a little bit later, but the AS Inspector, this is a software that's going to give the automation, did I say that right? The automation, I'm sorry, the automation to, I was thinking in Spanish and trying to say it in English. In Spanish is automatización, so I was trying to say that in English, but in English it's just automation. All right, so anyway, sorry about that, folks. When you have this is going to take away the heavy lifting, because a lot of the stuff that you're learning to do in 120 videos, well, guess what? This is going to do a lot of that for you because it brings that automation. But what's really cool is that this is a one-time purchase, but it's a lifetime license, which means that any updates, anything extra that's built into this particular software is going to be added to you at no extra cost. So that's really cool. So 102% coin back when you do this one-time out-of-pocket of $500. Now, the next one is the Ecom Pro Academy, the accelerated package, $1,500, 104% coin back. Now, this one is a powerful model, guys. That's what I'm going to say. It's so powerful, and here's why. I was personally at the location where this product came to be. It was in San Diego, California. It was a 3-day event. All the who's from New Zealand, from Australia, from Canada, from the US converged on San Diego. I'm talking about 7-figure to 8-figure earners and beyond. Even Kevin Harrington was there, and he was talking about how, you know, he had been on, as seen on TV and the QVC channel and all of that, and how everything has shifted online. And you know, he had a segment that, you know, he was a part of the event, and just have dinner with him was like an extra $1,000 a private meeting with Kevin Harrington. So it was from 8 in the morning, guys, to 6 p.m. every single day, intense step-by-step trainings from the top experts in the entire world in e-commerce. So folks, I've seen the quality. Okay, I was there. I was one of the students. Okay, so I know exactly what was being taught from A through Z on how to set up your e-commerce business and advertise for it and scale it up. And so that's a $1,500 one-time out-of-pocket fee. But remember, each one of these packages, when you buy it, whatever packages came before it are also included in the price. So you're getting the Ecom Pro Academy, but you're also getting the software, and you're also getting the Ecom Blueprint, the basic package. So each one of these will have the other packages included into. So when I say that this is a powerful product, I know because I was there, folks. So $1,500 gets you the Ecom Pro Academy, and also the basic, and also the intermediate packages. Now, the Ecom Jam, this advanced package, this is going to be everything you ever wanted to know about Shopify. If you don't know what Shopify is, then you need to take this program, because Shopify is one of the most robust and most popular platforms that are used in e-commerce. So you really need to get familiar with this. It's an advanced program, 107% coin back. It includes the basic package, the intermediate, the accelerate package, all of that for $2,500. And then you have the elite Amazon training. So everybody's heard about Amazon either as a consumer or just knows that it exists. And to learn how to profit from using Amazon, to do your fulfillment, to create your own brands, to do the advertising, to you know, all the things, the cross promotions that you can do on Amazon. $5,500 is our top professional package. It includes every other form of education that we offer here, and it comes with 110% coin back. And just to recap, there's the costs of the packages, and there's the coin back rewards that are paid in pro currency. Now, you could always start with one of these packages and upgrade later, but here's what happens. Let's say you took the basic package and you went from $100 today, and then you decided, well, I really want the whole thing. I want to get the $5,500 package. Well, you would pay the difference, which is $5,400. But when you pay that $5,400, you're only going to get 100% coin back on that $5,400. You don't get the extra 10%. So if you want to get the extra 2, 4, 7, or 10%, then that's on the first order only. So make sure that you understand that and make sure that you explain that to other people that you might have invited on this webinar. So those extra 2, 4, 7, and 10 are only on first orders that pay for that particular package. Key benefits and advantages of everything we talked about so far, folks, is the innovation. This is the most advanced digital coin usability model on the market today, backed by a strong legal team with over 25 years in the industry. Folks, that's not a sentiment. That's not just writing on a screen. That's not an ideal. That's the reality. There's nothing out there that remotely in the crypto space resembles what we've put together here with ipro Network. Now, this is a value proposition because everything that we're talking about in terms of the products that we just outlined are being sold outside of ipro Network for the same, if not more, differences. They don't have coin rewards. You can only get the coin rewards when you purchase them here at ipro Network. And the reason I say that is because between 50, I'm not sure if it was 50 or 60,000 students have bought these particular products, and there's over 9,000 different testimonials of what the results are of success, different levels of success. Some at making hundreds of dollars, some making 7 figures and beyond using the exact same trainings without getting coin rewards when they purchase them outside of the network. So this is the value here is just tremendous, guys. Now, incentives, you receive 100% coin back. That's pretty obvious why people would want to do that and take advantage of that, because it's a pass, throwing a pass to yourself from yourself into the future. Who knows what the value is going to be in the next 7 years, the next year, the next 3 years, and whatever. So you guys, if we really dive into that conversation and look at all the different applications that are coming out, you guys won't even be able to sleep at night. Okay, wide range of digital benefits. So you could use the coins to shop in the marketplace. You could use the coins also to shop at the IPM Pro Mall. So it has that usability component, or you can hang on to it for future, whatever the coin is going to be worth in the future. And then this is a real business, folks, because we're empowering entrepreneurs to be in the most relevant type of business that you can be. That's a home-based business. There's nothing more like a home-based business than e-commerce. So really what you have is a business within a business in direct sales, folks. And it's actually 3 different ones, because we already talked about the Bitcoin story, so that's one thing. But then you have the e-commerce that you could set up a real e-commerce business. And let me share this last story with you real quick, is that I introduced a friend of mine to e-commerce. He was actually at the Pro Academy, or the Academy Pro training with me in San Diego last year in November, but he had already been in e-commerce because I introduced him to that about a year and a half before that. And he spent, I don't know, maybe 6 months setting up stores in e-commerce that are doing $5,000 a day in sales in e-commerce on autopilot. Now that's pretty powerful, guys. So that's what you have here. You have a real business within a real business, folks. So let's talk about compensation. I have a good friend that always says that the reward has to be worth the risk. And so I couldn't agree more. We have the direct sell bonus. We have 4 bonuses in this program. It's 10% of whatever the sales package is. So it doesn't matter what package you're in. You could be in the basic package, sell a professional package, and guess what? You just made $550 and are in profit with just 1 sale. So you made whole and are in profit, even if you signed up at the basic. So that's pretty powerful, easy to understand, 10%. The binary bonus, folks, is just as powerful. Now, I'm a diehard binary person. When I got dragged into this industry kicking and screaming, it was with a binary program, and I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what the left, what the right was. I didn't understand. But now that I do, and I understand that I can make money from me down to infinity with no levels to qualify, override the volume of my entire organization, and that I can help people by placing people under other people and let them override that volume, even though they're not even connected, that's powerful. And so spillover counts, 10% paid on the weaker team volume. This is huge. Volume doesn't flush. And, we'll get into that a little bit later. The seminar is actually going to do a complete compound explanation on the binary and how powerful it is. So I'll leave that for a little bit later here today. Matching bonuses are just as powerful. I've never seen a matching bonus as generous as the one we have right here. It's unlimited width, so the binary gives you unlimited depth, but now you have unlimited width with the matching bonuses as well. 10% first level, second level 10%, 3%, 20%. Now you and I both know that the third level is going to be wider than the first level and the second level combined, and that's where we put another 20%, which is powerful. And then the fourth level, I don't know why, but statistically is your widest level, and that's been for the last 50, 60 years. If you don't believe me, go do some research on your own. Statistically, that happens. Why does it happen? Who knows? But your fourth level is going to be your widest level. And so another 20% there. Now, folks, that is huge. Most of the matching bonuses that I've seen over the last 11 years start from they start from more to less, and where it's like, by the time you get to where it stops, it's like, 1% or a half a percent or 0.01%, some crazy number. So this is really, really powerful. And then we have our leadership rank bonus. Now, the leadership rank bonus, folks, is really powerful. Pro 1 and Pro 2 are easy to hit, very, very simple. And we're going to do, this seminar is actually going to go into a deep, deep compensation plan training in just a little bit. We're going to break here first. But so if you want to hang out for that, you want to make sure that you get all the information, because remember, the reward has to be worth the risk. So Pro 1 and Pro 2 is a thank you, great job. We pay that out one time, and thank you, keep it going. But from Pro 3 to Pro 7, things change radically, because now you can earn between 1 and 3% of your entire enrollment tree volume. What that means is when you bring in your directs, the people that you sponsor directly, and they sponsor people directly, and they sponsor people directly, that's your ETV, that's enrollment tree volume. And you can override that by 1%, 1.5 at Pro 4, 2% Pro 5, 2.5 Pro 6, and Pro 7, 3%. Now, as people catch you up, well, then you're making the difference of those percentages. But just, so we can put this into perspective, let's say you're doing $1 million in volume and you qualify for that 1%. Well, guess what? That's a big chunk of change. That's extra that is being paid out to you. And the reason why I love this program is because 4 years ago, I was really building a large organization, did some crazy volume. Like in my first 90 days, did about $17 million in volume. And I didn't have anything like this. And I was just kind of doing the math, what it would be like to actually make 1% on that volume or make 3% on that volume. So that made it really, really cool to kind of dream about that. Well, here at ipro Network, you don't have to dream. You just have to do the work. And guess what? You're going to get that commission. And then really the best part of the program is this right here, is how is the commissions distributed. The Pro Rewards payment and redemption period. When commissions are earned, they are paid out as follows. 70% is paid in cash, USD. 30% Pro Rewards based on the current value of the coins. So whatever the coins are worth on that particular, when those commissions were earned, that's what is going to be paid out. And then the redemption period after the first 30 days of being earned, once a coin obviously is on the exchanges, then the rewards can be used to shop or be redeemed at the rate of 5% per week. So very, very cool. Now, the reason I love that is because I know personally, okay, I'm going to live off of that 70%, but that 30%, that's almost like the coin, like the rewards program, right? With the app or any of the other products that we're purchasing, because those are for the future, right? That could be house money, that could be lifestyle money, whatever that is. But again, that's a pass from you to you, from today to the future. So very, very powerful. Now, something for everyone, okay? Number one, purchase the eProfit system and potentially benefit greatly when you apply what you have learned. Number two, you could share the IPM platform and get compensated when someone purchases eProfit packages through you. And number three, acquire and collect as many Pro Rewards as possible to use or trade them. So this is definitely something for everyone, folks. Now, the packages and bonuses, let's go ahead and explain this real quick. Package, it's not really a package, but it is the $50 annual activation. That's for the folks that actually want to participate in earning commissions. Now, you could earn a direct bonus when you come in at $50. There is a weekly cap that you can earn up to $500 with that particular activation. There's no matching bonuses, and there's no 100% rebate. There's no coin rewards attached to that purchase. Then you have the $100 basic package. It has a weekly cap, same $500 package. Now, people are going to ask, well, what's the difference? Why would I do 100 if I could do 50? Well, very, very good question. The difference is that with the basic, you're going to get 100% coin back with that basic package, and you're going to get the ecom product blueprint, okay, which is a real product with 120 foundational videos on how to start an e-commerce business. That is powerful. That's a huge, huge upgrade with a difference of 50 bucks. Now, but if you want to go a little bit better, 500 intermediate, that has a weekly cap of 2,500. So now things are changing up a bit, right? Because the difference between the $100 and the $500 intermediate is a $400 difference up front, but on your weekly cap potential earnings, that's $2,000. That's a huge, huge difference. Plus, you get to do check matches on your first level, which is your directs, and 100% goes to 102% in coin back with that $500 intermediate. So you get that extra 2% bonus. 1,500 accelerated package, that's a $1,000 difference between the 500 and the 1,500, but your weekly cap changes. It goes to an additional $5,000 potential income per week. When you go to the accelerated plus, you can match levels 1 and 2, and you get an additional 4% in coin back. So you get the minimum 100 plus another 4%. 2,500, once again, it's a $1,000 difference up front, but your weekly cap goes up an additional $5,000. You can check match levels 1, 2, and 3 right from the get-go, and an additional 7% in terms of coin rewards. So it's 107%. $5,500 professional package, 35,000 is a weekly cap, levels 1 through 4, and 110% is coin rewards with that particular package. Not to mention all the education that comes with each and every one of those packages, folks. So once you fully understand the power of the IPN business model, you're going to be really, really surprised. And that's why we're doing a seminar tonight that's actually going to dive deep into the compensation plan structure so that you understand all aspects of it. But let me say this. Even though I just gave you a cap of $35,000 per week, well, if you do the math, that doesn't add up to what you have on the screen here. It says 0 to $440,000 a month. But where does that extra money come from? Well, you need to understand how our whole model works. And so it doesn't matter whether you start at $50 or you start at $5,500 plus the $50 activation annual fee. You have the same opportunity, folks, because this is about sales volume. So somebody could get started with 50 and do sales volume and purchases and then upgrade and actually get to participate in the entirety of the compensation plan structure just by sweat equity and sales volume. Whereas somebody could come in at the top level because they want all the education, because they want the coin rewards, they want all of that, but maybe they're not interested in building out a business or whatever. But so so everybody's going to get the exact same training, the exact same support, so that whatever your goals are, you can achieve them. It doesn't matter if you start little or you start at the top, makes no difference. All right, so there's always 3 types of people. First person is going to say, hey, you know what? That's not for me. And if it's not for you, then we want to thank you for listening so attentively throughout this presentation. Now, what we do encourage you is we're literally right around the corner for this app to be released where you can earn coin rewards just from simply shopping. So if you've never been satisfied with a rewards program before, this is the rewards program that's on steroids it's the one that keeps on giving. So, maybe you just want to download a free app, use it, give it to a few of your friends, and then you could earn rewards that way, even if you don't want to participate in the other aspects of our program. Number 2 is a person that says, yes, I love it, I get it, I see it, you had me at rewards. And if that's the case, awesome, fantastic. Get back to the person that invited you to this webinar, get all the details, they'll show you, they'll walk you through how you can become an affiliate, how you can get started with us. And then third, I'm talking to the person that has questions. If you have questions, the very worst thing that you could do is not ask them. So I encourage you to seek out the answers to your questions. Don't hold them back, because here's the thing. We're at the beginning of something huge, something powerful, something that's going to be explosive, and that's something within within 3 of the top industries that are multi-billion-dollar industries that are relevant to today and to the future. So it's not just today, it's the future. So just like we were telling people in 2006, hey, by 2012, all phone lines are going to be digital. What you're hearing today is, guess what? Digital currency is how money is going to be used. That's the next expression of money. And where money is being spent, that's not going to change also. That's online, folks. So you have these concepts, these industries that are converging. You add that to coin rewards, then you add the direct sales and the direct sharing platforms, bro. Folks, this is just huge. So the very worst thing that you could do is not ask the questions that you may have. So if you have them, great. Let's get those questions answered. So get back to the person that invited you. Now, if that person just got involved with us, they may not have all the answers. So make sure that you find somebody that can answer those questions for you. So I want to pause here. I want to thank everybody for being on this presentation. If you're brand new, talk to the person that invited you here, get your questions answered, get yourself enrolled, and God bless you. So welcome everyone to tonight's presentation of ipro Network. And let's just jump in right away. We're going to be talking about three different multi-billion-dollar industries throughout this presentation. So I want you to pay attention because these are separate and distinct, but they're all so powerful. What makes ipro Network is the convergence of all of these industries together. So there's not going to be any hype, any fluff, just really transparent information. We're not here trying to convince anybody of anything. Really, what we're going to give out is a lot of information that a lot of people still don't know about. In fact, the entire world, just a very small percentage of the entire world even knows about what we're talking about here today. And so that's really exciting from an educational standpoint, folks, because it creates a huge opportunity for each and every one of us. So the first industry that we're going to talk about is cryptocurrency, also referred to during this presentation as e-currency or digital currency. When you hear those words, they're all synonymous. It really means the same thing. Now, so a lot of folks, when they hear that, when they hear cryptocurrency or e-currency or digital currency, they might be confused. They might think we're talking about PayPal or a solution of that sort. And certainly that is a digital platform. However, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about real currency in the digital space. And so that causes a little bit of confusion for some folks. Now, the other types of people might be unsure of what does that mean? How does it relates to them? Should they care? Should they participate? Should they get more information or what? And that was me 3 years ago, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we go along here. And then the third person is going to be that person that's going to be super motivated, super excited to hear that there is a new currency that is just about to be released, folks. And again, a lot of you guys know, or if you don't know, but a new currency named Pro is about to be released on the 24th to exchanges, to cryptocurrency exchanges. And if you understand what that means, if you're not confused and you're not unsure of, then you're going to be super extremely motivated and excited like this third person here. And so hopefully by the end of this presentation here, you are just as excited as this girl in this image here. Now, e-currency is the latest evolution in payments, or it's the latest form of money, in short. So we're all familiar with fiat currency, dollar bills, and that sort of legal tender. We've seen checks. I know I've seen checks in my lifetime. We've seen plastic, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and all of those. We've seen the PayPals and the virtual types of wallets like Apple Pay, Google Pay, and so on and so forth. But cryptocurrency, e-currency, folks, that's the latest evolution in money. And so that's what this presentation is going to talk about as the first industry that we need to explore and understand on how this relates to ipro Network. Now, e-currencies are something that hit the scene about 7 years ago, and the very first one that's really made headline news and is world renowned is Bitcoin. That's a really interesting story because when Bitcoin first started, it was worthless. It was, it was an experiment, if you will. It was a project, and it started with trying to resolve mathematical algorithms that exponentially would get more difficult to really see if you could have a digital currency out there that can someday even replace the types of currencies that we use right now that was solely based on supply and demand. And so when it first came out, the only way that you could acquire it was by a very complex system called mining. And if you were fortunate enough or smart enough to figure all that out, then you could actually produce Bitcoin. And right now it's actually at about right around where it's at right now, about 1180. I haven't checked it today. If somebody wants to post it on the chat, you can. But I know for the last 90 days or so, it's been fluctuating between about $800 and $1,200. Now, historically, it had hit this level early on, and then because it was so new and the demand